Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. It's always a good morning at BNI. My name is Stella Nasali, and I'm your host for the first ever My BNI Story here on BNI TV Africa. Our first guest is a beautiful Nigerian woman called Linda T. Bott. I want to say so much about her, but I'll let her speak for herself. Linda, what's this T in the Linda T. Bott?
Thank you, Stella. My name is Linda T. Bott. Most people think the T. Bott is actually one full name, but T actually stands for Tersan, and it literally means move your body. I was named by my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. So literally, yes, as you can see, I'm forever moving my body.
I'm glad to finally get to know what the T stands for. Otherwise,
Yes.
I know you can't say it as just Linda T. It's Linda T. Bott in
Yeah,
full.
yes,
All right,
complete.
and I hear people calling you the Jollof Whisperer. What's that about?
So the Jollof Whisperer. So first, welcome to the Bight of Benin. It's a West African restaurant here in Kampala, Uganda. And we do sell jollof. So I thought, what better way to catch your interest than to say I'm the Jollof Whisperer? At least you remember that apart from the tea bottle.
That's interesting. Okay, Bight of Benin. Speaking of Bight of Benin, tell us, what is this Bight of Benin?
Okay, so Bight of Benin is interesting. When we set up the restaurant, a lot of people thought it was a play on the word bite, right? But it's a great conversation starter. It's actually the coast of West Africa. It's called the Greater Gulf of Guinea. And within that, there's a body of water called the Bight or the Bay of Benin. But Bay is a boring word, isn't it? But the Bight will actually have you talking. It is a great conversation starter. So we set it up to represent the 16 West African countries and our intention to offer food from those 16 West African countries. Yes.
That's very good information for my quiz. Later, 16 West African countries. I didn't actually know that.
You see?
Okay.
Hint, hint.
Yes. What happens here? What activities happen at Bight of Benin?
So, if you're interested in West African food, if you've ever been curious of jollof rice, pepper soup, I know it's your favorite, puff puff, which we have here, which is not mandazi, because I get a lot of questions about that. I tell you that puff puff is the older brother of mandazi, but it's actually lovely. If you're ever curious about egusi, so our intention is to introduce non-West Africans to West Africa via food, via culture, via the arts. So basically that's what Bight of Benin is all about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, this being Uganda, I was about to ask how many West Africans are here, and is that your only target? But then you went ahead to say that you're looking to interest the rest of us in this West African foods.
Yeah.
So tell me, you are a member of BNI Business Network International. What has your journey been like?
Oh, it's been very interesting. Very interesting. I love meeting people. I love new places, new situations, and a chance to learn. Now, BNI captures all of that, okay? As a person joining BNI, I've met other business owners who help you walk this business journey and are willing to share, willing to inform, willing to impact knowledge. For the business itself, I mean, as you can imagine, it's a niche restaurant, right? So if you don't know about West African food, you've never tried it, why should you come to the Bight of Benin, actually? That's a question that you would ask. Now, for BNI, as the members understood, first, Linda T. Bott, and they met with me, part of building our relationships to understand what makes Linda, and then what is the Bight of Benin about? What kind of business is it? What kind of business person is she, right? BNI has actually helped propel the Bight of Benin forward. Like we always say within BNI, your marketing team, who is it? It's BNI. But they have to understand what you do, who you are, to be able to do that. And my journey with BNI so far has actually been amazing, both as a business and as a person.
That's interesting. So as a member of BNI, you as Linda Tibot, have you had to do anything special, different to ensure that you get heard, known, and in so doing promote Bight of Benin?
Bight of Benin. So within BNI, I'm a member of BNI Abundance chapter. It's the Green Abundance chapter,
Ooh.
right? What I've done is I've actually reached out to different members of BNI, both within my chapter, within other chapters within Uganda, then across the regions. This morning I was on an online BNI Mavuno chapter in Kenya. It was quite interesting. There were about 50 of us on board. So as you know, it's visibility. So if someone go, oh, Linda, hello, I hear you at the Bight of Benin, tell us more about it. You put in your details there and someone says, can we meet later online and have a chat? Or I know someone I'd like to introduce you to in Uganda. So BNI, what I've done, apart from those online meetings, is actually to reach out and say, can I meet Stella? Stella, this is who I am, and I see this is what you do. I'd like to know more about your business. I come over, we meet, I understand what you do. And from the interest I've shown in you, you also reciprocate, right? And then if perhaps you're having a meeting, someone says, oh, I'd like to go and have a celebration at a restaurant. And you say, oh, there's Linda, her restaurant, Bight of Benin. But I don't eat West African food, it's spicy. Oh, no, Linda will cater for you. Just let her know what you want, you know? So for me, BNI helps propel you forward, both as a person, both as a business, right? And the more you go out to meet other people within the BNI organization, and then the more you give. So by you telling your network, your friend, and saying, oh, why don't you go to Linda's Space? I can recommend Linda's Space. You've given to me, right? All without thought of commission, because we don't do that. But the principle behind it is, if I give to you, okay, you certainly will look for an opportunity to give back to me. And I think that's one of the beauty of BNI, and the fact that they are not under pressure to say, oh, because I've given to Stella, Stella has given me a commission. It's all above board, right? It's all about business to business, but also about the person behind that business.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Linda, there must be something that you hold on to that inspires you, that you may want to share with individuals out there, be it business owners or not.
Yeah.
What is it?
So for me, there's a favorite quote of mine. If you allow me, let me put on my four eyes, as we say. So one of my favorite authors, Professor Chinua Achebe, actually his full name is Chinua Lumogu, as in Igbo, which means, may the angels fight on my behalf. Now, one of my favorite quotes from him, if I can read it,
please,
because for me, it encapsulates what BNI is about, but then what generally we're all about.
Yes.
And he says, a man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to save them from starving. They all have food in their own homes. When we gather together in the moonlit village ground, it is not because of the moon. Every man can see it in his own compound. We come together because it is good for kingsmen to do so, right? So when I bring it back to BNI, for me, the purpose of BNI is based on the premise that lone businesses cannot grow as well as coordinating together and working together. So we are the kingsmen, or the king's people, right? And the compound where we gather to see the moonlit ground is what BNI is all about.
Wow. Yeah. I'm really inspired from what you just shared. I need to go back to that, read it again and again, and try to translate it my own way, interpret it my own way. Thank you so much for sharing. As we come to the end, I would like you to suggest something for someone who wants to try out West African food. What would you like them to start with?
Should we go spicy or tone it down?
For my sake, let's tone it down.
Okay.
Spicy, but not Indian spicy. Ugandan spicy.
So if you're curious about West African food, I think the best way to introduce you, as we say, soft landing, is try out jollof rice. Now, there are different versions of jollof rice. There's some talk about some jollof war, but let me put it this way. I'm Nigerian. There's one king to the throne. So let's leave it there.
I see where you're going with that, but okay.
Let me say jollof rice, because jollof rice introduces you into West Africa and soft landing, and you can tell your server to make it either spicy, if you want to go that way, or to just make it mild. But it's the best introduction to West African food.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for joining us today for the first ever My BNI Story. I've been your host, Stella Nasali, and we were hosting the beautiful Linda T. Boat. I don't remember what the T stands for, but she told us. I hope you are taking notes. Yeah, I'll just go on to enjoy my palm wine and famous puff puff. This is my favorite. Thank you very much.